Okay, let's dive in. Whether you're, a student facing a presentation, maybe a professional trying to climb the ladder, or even just working on personal relationships.
Charge of getting through the day, right?
Exactly. Day-to-day stuff. The common thread is always, well, communication. It's vital.
Absolutely.
So this deep dive, it's really about giving you some tools, some practical ways to communicate with more confidence and just more effectively.
Yeah.
All those areas.
Yeah, and we're steering clear of just dry theory today.
Right. No getting bogged down.
Right.
You want practical stuff you can use like right away, making sure your message actually lands, that people get what you're saying.
Precisely. Because communication, it's so much more than just talking, isn't it?
Totally.
It's this whole exchange. It needs clarity, sure.
Yeah.
But also like genuine listening, real connection.
Connection, yeah.
Our goal isn't about sounding super fancy or, using the biggest words.
No, not at all.
It's about real methods, things that actually empower you to, well, say what you mean and mean what you say, and also to listen properly.
Yeah.
With intent.
Okay, so let's unpack the basics then. When we say communication, what are we really talking about? What are the core pieces?
Well, fundamentally, it's a two-way street, right? It involves obviously getting your own thoughts out clearly, articulating your ideas. But just as importantly, it's about actively understanding what the other person is trying to tell you.
Right, the listening part.
Exactly. And for it to be really effective, you need a few key things. Clarity, definitely. Confidence when you speak. Respect for the other person.
What does that look like? Respect.
Well, it means thinking about who you're talking to, tailoring things a bit, being mindful of their time, and acknowledging their view, even if you don't agree.
Okay.
And then finally, really paying attention to how they respond, being genuinely attentive.
Makes sense.
And notice, like you said, having a huge vocabulary isn't top of the list here. That real connection, that beats Santy words any day.
Yeah, that really resonates. It feels intuitive almost. But let's dig into why it's so critical. Why are strong communication skills such a big deal in, different parts of our lives? So what's actually at stake?
Oh, the impact is huge.
Yeah.
It really filters into almost everything we do. Think about work, for instance.
Okay.
How well you can explain your ideas, be persuasive, that can make or break projects, collaborations, even your career progression.
Yeah, I can see that. Getting buy-in.
Exactly. And then in personal relationships, clear, empathetic communication. That's basically the bedrock. It builds trust, understanding.
Yeah, foundation, yeah.
Even in high-stakes moments like a job interview.
Oh, definitely.
Your ability to talk about your skills, your experience, clearly and confidently, that could be the thing that tips the scales.
The deciding factor.
Right. And just day-to-day, being clear helps avoid misunderstandings, Makes you feel more sure of yourself, too.
Seems to boost self-assurance.
Absolutely. So bottom line, better communication skills. They pretty much lead directly to more success and fulfillment, both personally and professionally.
Okay, this is where it gets really practical. We've got the what and the why. Now let's get into the how. What are some actual concrete strategies people can start using, like today?
Right. Let's jump into 5 key strategies, and we'll start with something absolutely foundational.
Which is?
The power of active listening.
Active listening. Okay, we hear that term a lot. But what does it really mean when you're actually doing it?
Well, it's completely different from just, waiting for your turn to talk.
Yeah, planning your reply while they're still speaking. We all do that sometimes.
We do. But active listening needs your full focus on the speaker. You're paying attention not just to the words, but the tone of voice. The emotions may be bubbling underneath.
Okay, so reading between the lines a bit.
Sort of, yeah. It means deliberately stopping yourself from interrupting, showing real curiosity about what they're saying.
Yeah.
Often the most important stuff isn't what's said out loud.
Interesting. Like the pauses.
Exactly. Hesitations, shifts in tone. Those can tell you a lot about unspoken feelings or concerns. When you truly listen to understand, not just to reply, you build much stronger connections. And kind of paradoxically, it makes you a much better communicator overall.
That makes total sense. Shifting from just broadcasting your own stuff to really tuning in. Okay, great first strategy. What's next in the toolkit?
Strategy number 2. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's the strategic pause.
Pausing. Okay.
Taking a deliberate moment. Think before you speak. It can make a huge difference.
Tell me more. What are the real benefits of doing that? I mean, isn't there a danger you might seem, hesitant? Or like you don't know what to say?
That's a fair question.
Right.
But it's about strategic pausing, not awkward silence or excessive hesitation.
Right.
A well-placed pause gives you that mental space, that beat, to really consider your message. It makes it way less likely you'll blurt something out you wish you hadn't.
Okay, avoiding foot-in-mouth moments.
Definitely.
Hmm.
And it lets you choose your words more carefully, make sure they actually match what you intend to say. Plus, it helps you stay calm, especially if it's a tense conversation.
Composure, yeah.
And, importantly, if English isn't your first language, that little pause is gold. It gives you that extra second to frame your sentences correctly in your head.
Oh, that's a great point.
It's about being deliberate, making the pause work for you, not making it seem like you're lost.
Fantastic clarification, especially that bit for non-native speakers.
Mm.
Okay, strategy 3. What's our third way to get better at this?
Right. Number 3 is all about continuously building your vocabulary.
Vocabulary, okay.
Think of words as your tools, your communication toolkit. The more words you have and the more precise they are, the better you can express exactly what you're thinking and feeling with real impact.
It's not just about having more words, is it? It's about the right words.
Precisely. It's understanding the nuances, the connotations, like content versus satisfied. They're similar, but they feel different, don't they?
Yeah, they do carry a different weight.
Paying attention to those subtleties makes your communication much sharper, much more accurate.
So how do we actually do that? Build this richer vocabulary day to day.
It's about making it a consistent habit, but keeping it manageable. You don't need to learn 50 words a day.
Okay, good.
Aim for maybe 3 to 5 new English words each day. But here's the key. Don't just memorize the definition.
Right, you have to use them.
Exactly. Actively try to use them in conversation. There are tons of vocabulary apps now, or just read more in English blogs, books, articles. And when you find a new word, make a point to weave it into how you talk or write that day.
Got it. Like an example.
Sure. Instead of always saying very tired, you could try exhausted.
Ah, yeah. More specific.
It just adds that a bit more precision, more impact. Little choices like that, consistently, they add up and make a surprisingly big difference.
Oh, that's a fantastic illustration. It really clicks now how those subtle word choices can elevate communication. Okay, I appreciate that concrete example. Moving on to number 4. What's the 4th key tip?
Our 4th strategy really hammers home the need for consistent speaking practice.
Right, not just learning, but doing.
Exactly. You can absorb vocabulary, learn grammar rules passively, sure, but real fluency, real confidence when you communicate, that only comes from actually actively using the language, speaking it.
Okay, so how can we practice speaking more, especially if maybe we don't have loads of opportunities? What are some easy ways?
Well, there are lots of ways, actually, that are pretty accessible. You could talk to yourself, maybe in the mirror.
Really? Doesn't that feel a bit weird?
It might at first, but it's a totally safe space, zero pressure. You can just focus on getting the words out, on your pronunciation, your flow.
Okay, low stakes practice.
Right. Another thing, record yourself speaking, then listen back. It can be a bit cringy initially.
Yeah, nobody loves the sound of their own voice usually.
True. But it's super helpful for catching things, like maybe where you hesitate or words you stumble over, areas you can work on.
Makes sense. Any other ways?
Yeah, if you can, join a speaking club. Toastmasters, things like that. Or just make an effort to have more conversations in English, even small ones, with friends, colleagues.
Just weave it into daily life more.
Exactly. Yeah. Even simple exchanges add up over time. And remember, the goal isn't perfection tomorrow. It's about making steady progress, getting a little bit better each day, each week. It's a journey.
That's a much more encouraging way to think about practice. Definitely. Less intimidating. Okay, so that's 4. What's our 5th core strategy? What's the last key piece?
Our 5th area is nonverbal communication.
Ah, body language and stuff.
Exactly. Recognizing that communication is way more than just the words coming out of your mouth. Your tone of voice, how you hold yourself, your facial expressions, they all send powerful messages.
Okay, so what specific things should we be paying attention to with our own body language?
Well, eye contact is a big one. Maintaining it shows you're engaged, you're sincere.
Not staring, though, right?
No, not staring. Just consistent, comfortable eye contact. Also smiling. A genuine smile makes you seem more approachable, creates a warmer vibe.
Yeah, puts people at ease.
And posture. Standing or sitting tall, confidently, it just projects assurance. On the flip side, try to minimize fidgeting.
Like tapping your foot or playing with a pen.
Yeah, those kinds of things. They often signal nervousness, even if you don't feel nervous. So Being mindful of that helps. When you actively manage your body language, it really amplifies your words, makes your whole message stronger.
And I guess understanding this stuff helps you read others better too, right?
Absolutely. It makes you more attuned to the whole message someone is sending, not just their words. Sometimes their body language might tell a slightly different story.
Okay, so 5 really powerful strategies there. Active listening, pausing, vocabulary, practice, and body language. Got it. Now, are there common mistakes people make? Things we should try not to do?
Oh, definitely. There are a few common pitfalls that can really get in the way of communicating well. One is speaking too fast, just rattling things off so quickly that people can't keep up or process what you're saying.
Guilty sometimes, especially when nervous.
It happens. Another one is overusing filler words. The ums, your likes, cities. A few are natural, but too many can make you sound hesitant or unclear.
Takes away from the message.
Right. Then there's negative self-talk about your skills. Constantly thinking or saying, oh, my English is terrible.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
It really isn't. Try reframing it. Instead of my English is bad, think I'm working on improving my English. It's a subtle shift, but it's more positive, more growth focused.
Focus on the progress.
Exactly. And the last one is not seeking feedback, being afraid to ask people how you come across. Feedback is how we learn and grow, so avoiding it limits your potential.
That's a tough one sometimes, asking for criticism.
It can be, but it's so valuable. And look, everyone makes mistakes with communicating. It's totally normal. It's part of learning.
That's a really useful list of things to watch out for. Okay, before we wrap up, you mentioned a bonus strategy, something extra.
I did. Yes, a bonus tip. It's surprisingly effective and really simple to add to your routine.
Okay, intriguing. What is it?
Just spend 5 minutes a day reading aloud.
Reading aloud, like from a book or something. How does that help communication specifically?
It helps in 3 key ways. First, pronunciation. Saying the words out loud forces you to articulate them clearly, so it really refines how you pronounce things.
Okay, makes sense.
Second, clarity of speech. It makes you more aware of your pacing, your intonation, how you group words together. Improves the overall flow.
Rhythm and flow.
Yeah. And third, fluency. Just getting more comfortable with the sound and feel of English sentences rolling off your tongue. Find an article, a short story, whatever, and just read it out loud for 5 minutes daily. You'll likely notice a real difference pretty quickly, maybe within a few weeks.
Wow, that's fascinating. Such a simple action, but it hits multiple communication skills at once.
Exactly. It engages pronunciation, clarity, fluency, all in one go.
That sounds like a really practical, manageable habit. Great bonus tip. Yeah. Okay, so just to quickly recap everything we've covered in this deep dive.
Sure. We hit 5 main strategies.
Yeah.
Really focusing on active listening.
Tuning in properly.
Right. Using that strategic pause to think before speaking.
Giving yourself a beat.
Continuously working on building your vocabulary.
The right tools for the job.
Making time for consistent speaking practice.
Actually doing it.
And paying attention to your nonverbal communication, your body language.
The unspoken messages.
Exactly. And then that bonus tip, reading aloud for just 5 minutes a day.
A powerful little habit.
Very powerful.
Fantastic. This has been super insightful, really packed with stuff we can actually use. So for you listening, as you go about your day interacting with people, try to be conscious of these things. Notice how you're listening. Maybe take that extra breath before responding. Think about the words you choose. Look for chances to practice. And check in with your posture, your eye contact.
And definitely, I'd really encourage trying that 5-minute reading aloud habit. It's such a small time commitment, but the payoff in improved clarity and fluency can be really significant.
Kind of leaves you with a question to think about, doesn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, as you become more aware of all these different parts of communication, which one will you focus on improving first? What's your starting point on this journey to becoming an even more confident, more impactful communicator?